talking Big 12 football with Josh Parcell from College Football Country, and Josh and I quickly review the games before we hit the record button. I got to tell you, Josh, you threw out Baylor, West Virginia, and I've got nothing for you. I'm expecting blowout city for the Mountaineers. Maybe there's a line here that caught your eye.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's 9.5. West Virginia is a 9-point favorite against Baylor on the road. Yeah, that's the base that I made when I saw that line. It's awfully strange. And I have Todd Furman, who is one of the smartest guys in the business when it comes to odds making and trying to pick games against the spread. And Todd likes Baylor in this spot. And that really caught my attention. I mean, when guys in Vegas set lines like this and start telling you that Baylor might be the smart pick here, they normally know something you don't know. But I'm an idiot, and I'm going with West Virginia. I mean, I'm being suckered into this game, hook, line, and sinker. It's at Baylor. That can be tricky for West Virginia. A big, long trip. That does play a role in some of these games when West Virginia is making some long trips over the course of the season, being way out there outside of Big 12 country. But Baylor can't slow anybody down. They're 125th, I think, in the country against the run. They've been an awful team. They gave up 747 yards of offense to Oklahoma State. West Virginia's offense is not that far off from what Oklahoma State can do. I mean, the offense is very good. Will Grier has been outstanding all season long. David Sills is a great receiver. Kevin White's little brother, has been tremendous as well. There is a lot of firepower on West Virginia's side. And while the West Virginia defense has been pretty bad as well, they've been exposed once they've gotten into Big 12 play. I don't think Baylor has enough to keep up in a shootout. I think that both defenses are going to give up some big plays. But I think West Virginia wins 56-35. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if West Virginia scored 60 in this game. It's going to be that kind of game. And I don't think Baylor's going to score 50 to keep up with them. So a 9.5-point line, it's weird. If you want to stay away when a game looks that weird, I wouldn't blame you. But, I mean, geez, West Virginia, how can you not back them here giving up less than double digits?
Well, West Virginia is one of those programs when they're their typical 8-4 self that I consider them to be substantially better at home than on the road. It's a tough place to play. They typically have their worst outings on the road, but not to that degree. They did go to TCU this year, play rather well, only lose by a score in that game. And for that one to be 9.5, I would have spit out 24 off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's what it would seem like. And the one thing you have to keep in mind with West Virginia is they were 10 minutes away from losing by double digits to Texas Tech. I mean, they needed to score 26 or something like that straight points to beat the Red Raiders last week. They also were in a tight game with Kansas in the fourth quarter before pulling away. Ended up covering that game, depending on where you had the line, in a miracle cover against Kansas. So that game was tight. They have shown some times this season where they can lose, a little bit of focus, a little bit of attention, lay some eggs. Maybe this is that spot. Baylor hasn't won a game. They're losing games by an average of 18 points against Power 5 teams this season. I got nothing for you. I mean, I'd be shocked if West Virginia doesn't win this game by double digits.
Vegas knows something, or they're putting too much stock in that Oklahoma game in which Baylor was able to hang tough for most of the game and lost by, I think, 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what happened. So, I mean, maybe we see that again. I mean, we've seen Matt Rule is a good coach. Don't want to take anything away from him, but it's a long road ahead for Rule down there in Waco.
You didn't happen to have anything on Michigan State and Minnesota last week, did you, Josh?
No, but was there a bad beat in that game?
Oh, that was a killer from me.
Yeah, I thought I heard about that.
Michigan State up 17, 5 minutes left. Minnesota's got the ball, rainy conditions. They drive for the touchdown. So it's 30-20, Michigan State up by 10. It's not like Michigan State went 3 and out. They drive the ball right down the field. L.J. Scott scores a touchdown, or we thought it was a touchdown. There was a wide receiver holding penalty on the other side of the field. Didn't affect the play. Should have went up 17. So they're still up 10. There's about 3 and change left. They missed the field goal. So they're still up 10. You know what's coming. But it wasn't just that Minnesota went down and scored with like 16 seconds left in the game. It was that they converted 3rd and 16, 4th and 16. They converted a play in which it was typical. Michigan State over pursues the pocket. The quarterback breaks contain. He's running out of bounds. And I've rarely seen this. I think about it all the time. And the defender's coming his way, doesn't want to commit the late hit. And the quarterback stops on a dime at the sideline and heads up field and gains another like 18 yards.
The old miracle backdoor cover.
It was a bit brutal.
Unless you had money on it. That's brutal, man. It happens. It happens. Thankfully, I've not been the victim of a backdoor cover, really a bad one yet this season. can't think of one in all. I mean, I picked 45 games and haven't had really a backbreaker like that. But I'm sure it's coming. We're only halfway through the season. It happens at some point to everybody. It gets the best of us.
No doubt about it. Josh Parcell from College Football Country. You can tell he knows his stuff and also brings an interesting look at college football on a number of topics, as well as the games and the matchups each and every week. Josh, we appreciate the time, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mark.